Decoded.
Welcome to Book Decoded. Today we're jumping straight into The Empathy Gap by Daniel Murray. And we've got a pretty big corporate puzzle for you right off the bat.
Yeah, get this. Why do these massive, really smart corporate projects routinely blow their budgets? We're talking by like 45%.
Yeah, 45%. That's huge.
It is. And they often deliver less value than they promise, too.
So what's going on?
Well, the book argues it's because leaders often look at their teams through a spreadsheet lens. They treat people like uniform FTs, full-time equivalents.
Right, like everyone's just an interchangeable part, a cog in the machine.
Exactly. And that basic flawed assumption that you can boil down complex humans to predictable units, that's the empathy gap. And we're going to unpack why bridging this gap isn't some soft skill. It's actually critical for insight.
Okay, so where does this gap even come from? The book says it starts right up here in our heads.
Pretty much. Our brains are basically running on, let's call it old hardware. It hasn't changed much in maybe 10,000 years. So we rely heavily on these mental shortcuts, heuristics.
System 1 thinking. Fast, automatic, low effort. Designed to save brain energy, right?
Precisely. But the author calls these heuristics very dangerous. System 1 is sort of the default mode instinct, stereotypes. System 2, that's the heavy lifting, the conscious processing. You only switch on when you really have to.
Like that classic Sam the Librarian example.
Yeah, exactly. Is Sam more likely to be a librarian because he fits the stereotype, or statistically more likely to be something common like a salesperson? Most people go for the stereotype.
The easy System 1 guess. Instead of doing the System 2 work of thinking about the actual probabilities.
Right. It shows how System 1 just takes over.
So the gap isn't always about not caring. It can be just, mental laziness. We make assumptions because it's easier.
That's a big part of it. And that brings in the elephant and rider metaphor. Empathy means consciously engaging the rider System 2, rational thought to steer the elephant System 1, instinct and bias.
And if you just let the elephant charge ahead?
Well, you get things like blame. Murray talks about an early consulting gig with this exec he called the Walrus.
Okay.
This guy always blamed his teams when things went wrong. And Murray realized, projecting blame is just a fast, easy defense, a System 1 reaction.
It avoids looking at your own part in the problem.
Totally. It lets you skip confronting your own faults.
Yeah.
So accountability becomes key. Accepting you might be part of the issue. That's humility.
And that humility forces you into System 2 to actually think, okay, what could I have done differently?
Precisely. And that's the foundation for cognitive empathy. The book defines it pretty simply, just understanding why people do what they do.
Which sounds crucial for diverse teams, right? Where you can't just assume everyone thinks like you or has the same background.
Absolutely critical, because assumptions are the enemy here. Think about the author's trip to the Dharavi slum.
Oh yeah, the colored pencil story.
Right. He just assumed the kids would want them.
Yeah.
Based on, nothing really. Just filling a knowledge gap with his own flawed idea. He was totally surprised when they didn't.
His assumption was predictably flawed, as the book says. We fill the void with guesses.
We do. And the antidote is conscious curiosity. Taking that critical pause. The really high-stakes example is Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov back in '83.
The Soviet officer with the nuclear warning system.
That's the one. Alarms go off indicating a U.S. nuclear strike. The System 1 reaction. Immediate retaliation. Catastrophe.
But he didn't react immediately.
He paused. Engaged System 2. He questioned it. Why only a few missiles showing up? A full attack would be hundreds, surely.
So he used conscious curiosity, questioned the automated system's bias.
And realized it was a false alarm. Probably saved the world. That's the power of not just reacting.
Wow. And that kind of deliberate thinking, that pause, is essential for leading diverse teams today. The book says diversity can be a recipe for explosive destruction without trust.
It really can.
Yeah.
A good leader needs to build that trust, make it safe for people to disagree, to have constructive conflict, not just chaos. They need to unleash the power of that diversity.
Okay, so let's connect this to the future. We're talking about very human skills, trust, humility, cognitive empathy. But then you see these studies, like AI, ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing. A study on the AskDocs forum found people rated ChatGPT's answers as not only more accurate, but also more empathic than actual human doctors.
More empathic than doctors. So if AI can synthesize data and respond with what feels like more cognitive empathy, what's left for human leaders?
Well, AI is definitely going to accelerate things, impacts, consequences.
Yeah.
in ways we can't even predict right now.
So we need human empathy more than ever.
I think so, but maybe the uniquely human part that AI can't replicate or shouldn't is the accountability.
Yeah.
We need that deeper understanding, that empathy, not just for our team or our side, but for everyone impacted by the complex systems we're building.
So understanding others, that empathy is the human accountability we need to navigate AI ethically.
Exactly. And the trust you build through that empathy, really caring about others' success, not just about being right, that becomes the fuel. That's maybe the only sustainable fuel for success as things get more complex.